Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I am back, I am alive, and I am well. And as you can see, today we're going to be getting into some crowd-pleasing jollof. So stay tuned and let me put you on to my family's recipe to our jollof. Okay, so the first thing I do when I'm making my jollof is I measure out the cups of rice. I use about 10 cups of rice for this recipe. So this is definitely not for a single person household. This is for multiple people. So what I did basically is I'm washing the rice because there's a lot of starch on it. And if you don't take the starch off, it's going to be mad sticky. And then I soak the rice in about hot water. This will make the rice cook faster. Especially if you've had your rice in your house for a very long time, like most Ghanaians do. It gets very dry, so soaking it makes it faster. Now I'm cutting my sirloin beef. This is the real deal. You guys gotta look out for when it's on sale because it is a steal. So I'm cutting my beef into cubes. I'm trying to make sure that the cubes are the same size. Oh, that is mad bread. Yo, I don't know why the camera can't is it focusing? Do you see that? Okay, well, basically, I'm cutting into cubes of that size, and I cut, this was half of the sirloin. So I didn't use the whole thing because that's a bit too much meat. And you know, we're trying to take care of our health here. So when I'm done, this is what it looked like, the cube of meat. And I left it in this bowl. The next thing I did was I poured some white vinegar, and I'm gonna pour some cold water on top to wash the meat. I wash my meat. Y'all should know this by now. If you watch my videos, you know I always wash my meat. So jollof is in stages. So now we've reached the stage of preparing the meat. So as you saw, I just cut some onion. Now I'm cutting some ginger. And this is what I'm basically going to boil the meat with. So here we go. This is only for the meat, not for the stew. Like, don't be silly. Okay, so I'm gonna go and blend the onion and the ginger. Just a bit. And when I'm done, you see how it was dripping? Chai. Okay, so as you can see, so I put the onion and the ginger onto the meat, and I also added some ground hot pepper from the African store. And now I am just making sure that the seasoning is everywhere and all the meat is in its rightful place so that it can cook evenly. So the meat has done cooking, and now I'm just using a sieve to catch all the little bits. And to catch all the little bits, every single meat, and making it into the frying pan because I don't know what you guys think this is. But yeah, so I am going to keep the broth. So the leftover like water from the meat and the seasoning, I'm going to be keeping that. So this is my meat that I'm going to fry now. And I'm keeping the broth because the broth is going to be a part of our jollof mix. Please, 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 if you are using meat to cook your jollof, do not throw this away. Don't. Okay. So now I'm just gonna fry my meat. And make sure you don't fry it too much, otherwise it gets really, really dry, especially since this is beef. It gets quite dry if it's overcooked. And here we go. The meat is finished. Now I am cutting the onions for my stew. So because I am cooking like a lot of rice, about 10, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't know if I did 10 or 12, but you know what? You look at your household and see what you need to do, okay? So now I'm cutting the onions that I'm going to fry and the onions I'm going to blend with. So you will see the difference. So bam! These are my onions that I'm using to fry. I'm going to fry these onions. These are not part of the blended onion mixture I'm going to be making. Now, all the rest of these onions are going to be going into the blender with some other ingredients. And again, because this is a lot of rice, I need a lot of stew. And I love onion. Listen, when there's enough onion in the stew's going to be popping. I promise you. Of course, it depends on your taste buds. We all know jollof, there's remixes. So you do what you want to do. So here's my onions that I'm going to use for my stew. Nice, beautiful. And now I'm cutting my ginger. So my ginger, I try to peel it as much as possible, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. And I also heard that the skin is actually like good for you. So I'm like, okay. Who else has tons of ginger in their house because their parents have been making one side tea? And now I'm just cutting up my garlic. I may have used about 6 cloves of garlic. I also love garlic. Garlic, ginger, onion. Listen, when that is in your jollof, I'm telling you. So now I'm cutting my pepper. And those are my little thinly sliced onion pieces going into the hot oil. And now this, I'm going to part it into 2 because you can't put all of it in the blender at the same time. Otherwise, it will not blend properly. So I split it into half. So this is the first half going in. Pepper, garlic, ginger, onion, and enough water to blend it. That's what it should look like. And I just finished the second half. So what you do is that you are going to wait for the onions that you are frying to cook a bit, to get a bit brown, as you can see, before you put in the blended mixture, because otherwise you're gonna have like raw like onion in your food and it's not popping. So some people do this and some people don't, but I tend to use fresh tomatoes too in my jollof. In order to use the fresh tomatoes, you do have to blend it and then cook it. So basically that's what I did here. I used about 2 tomatoes for this. Why I do this, I feel like when you only use the tin tomatoes or whatever tomato sauce that's pre-made, it's a bit thick, and so it makes the stew like too heavy. And I don't like that. So I like using a bit of fresh tomatoes, and you're gonna put the fresh in first. Now you're gonna go in with 1 can of crushed tomatoes. Unico crushed tomatoes is popping. I usually use the Alimer brand, but it was sold out. And mix that in there. Make sure that your spoon is touching the bottom of your pot, otherwise the bottom is gonna be burnt, please. Now I'm gonna go in with 2 cans of tomato paste. That's how you get the color. And now I'm going to add my corned beef. I know you're probably thinking, but you're putting corned beef and you're putting meat. Listen, I told you this is my family's jollof. When you guys are chopping the jollof, this is what we are doing, okay? So zip it. So now I'm adding my salt. Nutmeg is now going in too during this time. Next, I'm adding Maggi cube. Why does Maggi cube hurt so much? Like, it is so hard. So 2 Maggi cubes in there. And now I'm adding bay leaf. 1, 2, 3. This was actually my first time using bay leaf in my jollof, and I must say, I really like it. Adding more nutmeg, because remember, this is to taste. However you want your jollof to taste, that's what you're going to put in it. Leave a comment below. What do you guys put in your jollof that I didn't use? And here you have it. And there you have it. My stew is cooked and it is ready to have the rice added to it. As you can see, the color of my jollof is exactly how I want it to be, that rich red color. Love, love, love. And just add a bit more salt. Now I am adding our rice. I have strained it from the water and now I'm adding the rice to the mix. So now I'm measuring out the stock, which was from the beef that I boiled with the seasoning. So I'm measuring it out in this cup. This is not an actual measuring cup. This is the cup that we use in my house to measure. Honestly, I feel like everyone has a mug they use when they're cooking, no? Yeah. So you should have about 3 cups of water for this amount of jollof. Yes, only 3 cups. Don't say, oh, but I wanted to cook. Listen, it's gonna be pacha. So as you can see, I definitely added too much oil, and you know what? It's okay, because if this ever happens to you, all you really need to do is take a paper towel and place it on the side, and the oil will get sucked up and your jollof will be fine. Trust me, it's gonna be okay. Cooking is trial and error, so you know sometimes it doesn't go the way you want. So halfway through, I did add the meat, and so then you're gonna add your plastic bag on top so that it slow cooks the rice properly. I later on changed my mind. I definitely added tinfoil because I heard tinfoil works better, and so I wanted to try that this time. And I am using a bankuta, aka a large fufu stick, to cook it. So now I'm checking to see if my jollof is finished yet. And there you have it. It is done. Done, done, done. Hours of slaving in the kitchen. Jollof ain't no joke. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. These videos are so deceiving, but it is so worth it. Please, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And look out for what I have next. I had my jollof with some salad and some kelewele. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And watch out for a kelewele video coming out soon. Bye!